Lesson: the role of employment contracts and agreements. Employment contracts and agreements serve as the fundamental pillars of employment relationships, providing clarity and structure to the roles, responsibilities, and expectations between employers and employees. In the realm of employment law, these contracts are indispensable tools that safeguard the interests of all parties involved. A well-constructed employment contract not only delineates the terms of employment, but also reduces the potential for disputes by setting clear guidelines and expectations. This lesson explores the critical role of employment contracts and agreements, offering practical insights and tools for HR leaders to effectively implement and manage these essential documents. Employment contracts are more than mere formalities. They are legally binding agreements that outline the terms and conditions of employment. These contracts typically include essential elements such as job responsibilities, compensation, benefits, working hours, and termination conditions. By explicitly stating these elements, employment contracts help prevent misunderstandings and provide a framework for resolving disputes. For HR leaders, understanding the nuances of employment contracts is crucial for ensuring compliance with employment law and fostering a positive organizational culture. A practical framework for developing effective employment contracts involves several key steps. The first step is conducting a thorough job analysis to clearly define the role and its responsibilities. This analysis should consider the skills, experience, and qualifications required for the position. Once the job description is finalized, the next step is to draft the contract terms, ensuring they are compliant with relevant employment laws and regulations. This includes consideration of minimum wage laws, overtime policies, and any industry-specific regulations. HR professionals must also ensure that the contract terms are consistent with the organization's policies and procedures. An essential tool for HR leaders is the use of standardized contract templates. These templates provide a consistent structure for employment contracts, ensuring that all critical elements are included and reducing the risk of omissions. However, it is important to customize these templates to reflect the specific requirements of each role and the organization's unique culture. Customization may involve tailoring the contract's language to align with the company's mission and values, as well as incorporating any role-specific terms and conditions. In addition to the basic elements, employment contracts may include clauses related to confidentiality, intellectual property, non-competition, and dispute resolution. Confidentiality clauses are vital for protecting sensitive information, especially in industries where proprietary data is a key asset. Intellectual property clauses ensure that any inventions or creations developed during employment are owned by the company. Non-competition clauses, although subject to legal scrutiny, can be used to protect the company's interests by preventing former employees from joining competitors. Finally, dispute resolution clauses provide a mechanism for resolving conflicts through arbitration or mediation, potentially avoiding costly litigation. To illustrate the importance of these clauses, consider the case of a technology company that failed to include an intellectual property clause in its employment contracts. As a result, a former employee claimed ownership of a software program developed during their tenure, leading to a protracted legal battle. This case underscores the need for comprehensive contracts that anticipate potential legal issues and protect the company's interests. HR leaders must also be vigilant in ensuring that employment contracts are updated to reflect changes in the employment relationship or legal landscape. This may involve periodic reviews of contract terms to ensure continued compliance with evolving laws and regulations. For instance, changes in labor laws related to remote work or data privacy may necessitate updates to existing contracts. Regular training and professional development for HR staff can help ensure they remain informed about legislative changes and best practices in contract management. Statistics highlight the significance of employment contracts in reducing workplace disputes. According to a study published in the Journal of Industrial Relations, organizations with comprehensive employment contracts experience fewer legal disputes and higher employee satisfaction. This finding suggests that well-crafted contracts contribute to a harmonious work environment by setting clear expectations and reducing ambiguity. In addition to traditional employment contracts, HR leaders should be familiar with other types of agreements, such as independent contractor agreements and temporary employment contracts. These agreements are particularly relevant in today's gig economy, where organizations increasingly rely on freelance and contract workers. Independent contractor agreements differ from employment contracts in that they establish a business-to-business relationship rather than an employer-employee relationship. These agreements should clearly define the scope of work, payment terms, and duration of the contract, while also ensuring compliance with tax and labor laws. A common challenge HR leaders face is distinguishing between employees and independent contractors. Misclassification can lead to significant legal and financial repercussions, as evidenced by numerous high-profile cases in recent years. To address this challenge, HR professionals can utilize the ABC test, a tool used in many jurisdictions to determine worker classification. The test assesses whether the worker is free from the control and direction of the hiring entity, performs work outside the usual course of the hiring entity's business, and is engaged in an independently established trade or business. Applying the ABC test can help HR leaders make informed decisions about worker classification and avoid potential legal pitfalls. HR leaders should also be adept at negotiating and drafting employment agreements that reflect the organization's strategic goals. Effective negotiation skills are essential for reaching mutually beneficial agreements that attract and retain top talent. This involves balancing the needs and expectations of both parties while ensuring compliance with legal requirements. For example, negotiating competitive compensation packages may involve benchmarking industry standards and considering factors such as cost of living, job market conditions, and the organization's financial position. In conclusion, employment contracts and agreements play a vital role in shaping the employment relationship and ensuring compliance with employment law. For HR leaders, mastering the intricacies of contract management is essential for fostering a positive work environment, protecting organizational interests, and minimizing legal risks. By utilizing practical tools such as standardized templates, the ABC test, and effective negotiation strategies, HR professionals can enhance their proficiency in this critical area and contribute to the overall success of their organizations. As the employment landscape continues to evolve, HR leaders must remain vigilant in adapting their contract management practices to address emerging challenges and opportunities.